I'm the founder and host of Winning on Wednesday. WOW is a virtual networking platform that brings together between 50 to 80 members weekly to share ideas, discuss their business, and to get to know each other. WOW encourages the building of relationships before doing business. As I often say, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And talk about trust, today we have the pleasure of speaking with Tim Daniels. Tim Daniels works to improve health, wellness, and care to help live long and perform better. His approach to this was to gain adaptation by wealth and fitness business that are leading edge yet proven business, scientifically sound, natural, non-invasive, non-pharmaceutical, and performing without side effects. His primary offering is a PEMF health self-care device. Tim's motivation to provide innovation, rehabilitation, preventative, and performance wellness offers comes from seeing people in distress when he operated home care for the elderly agency, plus his personal wear and tear from athletic competition. The training to compete as a Division I collegiate wrestler, exposure to Chinese medicines, discipline as part of his study of Chinese martial arts, collaboration with a wide range of conventional medicines, providing and delivering an in-home care, plus background as a former high-tech executive from the foundation for his ability to execute on his objective. Tim is originally a native of Grand Island, Nebraska, holds an undergraduate degree from Stanford University in economics and an MBA from the University of Chicago from Booth Schools of Business. Guest is Tim Daniels. How are you doing, Tim?
Doing great, Juan, and good to be here with you.
Good, good. I always like to start off this questions with my guest, and it's a simple question. Is just tell us about your early years, and let's start with your folks. What and always with the business related. What did your folks do for a living?
Sure, I'll answer that two ways. One, they were professional parents, which was a good boon to me. There were five of us kids who made it through. My older sister, 16 years older than I am. So they spent then 30, by the time I was out of the house, they spent 34 years raising kids. Now, from professional wise, my dad was a career soldier. So he was in the Army for 31 years. He retired when I was young, so he did some things after that. But of course, being in the Army that long and that way of life always kind of shaped the way he approached things and dealt with people. And my mother, she, as a Army wife, kind of became a full-time mother for a while. And then when I was in grade school, she went and became a audio visual person at a elementary school. So that's the work-wise what they did and what they did from a advocacy-wise.
Well, I just have to say wow, and thank you for your family service. I always commend the people in service, and I hear that you're a brat. You're a military brat, but that's in a good term. And I know that and some people may take that as a bad connotation, but from my understanding from Janine Bowling, who's also a military brat, it's also we're proud to be parents of people that serve this country.
Absolutely. And absolutely. So, and I think that brat actually came as a British term where people for a family that was attached to the British Army as they moved around. And so, but then it went on from there. But yeah, although he retired when I was 8, the first 8 years, by that time I'd lived in California, Arizona twice, Georgia, Germany, and Nebraska. But quite proud. He served in two. He's active in two wars, World War II in Korea, and then stateside in Vietnam. So it's quite proud to have had him as a father.
Wow. And when you were growing up, did you have any hobbies or any interest?
When I was there, quite a few. It was quite a bit. I played. Depending upon if we go from the childhood up to high school, I was active in a number of sports. Finally specialized in wrestling and went on to college to wrestle. But then I was also a saxophonist and really liked playing in both the regular band and the jazz band with that. Sports writer and editor for the newspaper, school newspaper. So a lot of different. I was in a lot of different things. Wrote poetry. So poetry, music, athletics, and things of that nature were all kind of things for me.
Wow, you sound like a Renaissance man. So did you have any role models that influenced you when you to become and do all these things?
Well, let's see. I would say my father, and then Jesus. But from human standpoint, my father was a guy who spoke 4 languages, I think, two of them self-taught, could do complex math in his head, was very protective and could protect his family and provide for his family. And at the same time, he could, open up and emotionals, and he was always very, very mentoring. So in terms of uh, in terms of business, interacting with people, how to conduct oneself, how to speak, he was a role model across the board for me in that regard.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's truly amazing. And it's good to hear stories like this because I wish one day my kid would speak like that to me, about me one day.
Yep,
And yeah,
likewise.
yeah. And tell me, did you go to school for what you do for your present job? What did you go to school for? And are you currently do that? What you went for school for?
I guess it's related in some ways. My undergraduate degree was in economics. My graduate degree was in business administration, with concentration in marketing, finance, and statistics. And so since I've ran a small business, now kind of a solo entrepreneur distributor, certainly I use the teachings and foundations of what came from that education, as well as through some earlier jobs.
Okay, excellent. That's awesome. Have there been any achievements in your life that you've been excited about or proud of?
Quite a few. I would go back from the athletic side. One aspect, I was a walk-on athlete in college in the Pacific 10. I'll date myself a little bit. As a wrestler, was able to get an athletic scholarship, put on an athletic scholarship. Two, I became an IBM executive in the days when it was very, very tough to become an IBM executive, and did well at that. And then raising what I think is a good son. So those are 3 accomplishments I would kind of point out.
Wow, that's excellent. At this point, I'd like to share part of our listeners that I like to call like a piece of golden nugget, or be wowed or thrilled. Is there anything that you can leave behind that will help business, or that make you more successful, or any piece of advice or wisdom that you could leave behind?
I think what's helped me in the past 18 months is really the following. I don't think it's profound, but I think it's but that is the following: is pay attention to the basics, and on those basics, pick out what is the main thing for one's business, and focus on that main thing. It really helps. Then for me, the main thing is talking about people who either use a product that I have for wealth creation, or not for wealth creation, but for health and wealth, but also with for health, both self-care and healthcare. Are they in that business, or can they use it? And talking to them about one or the other, and that's my main thing, and that really helps shape then what do I have to do to get to those people? How do I interact with them? What are the skills necessary for them? And that's really kind of turned around and taken my business to the next level by saying, here's the main thing, and stay focused on the main thing.
Wow, that's a valuable piece of information. Thank you for sharing that for us. And do you apply this to any like organizations? Do you belong to any chambers of commerce or charitable organizations that you belong to that has helped you?
Well, I look for 2 things that way. Certainly, there's a thing called the World Affairs Forum that I kind of sit on the board of for Fairfield County in Connecticut, and that's certainly helping connections and broadening my perspective on various things. Also, lunch. We'll get to WOW a little bit, which has been very helpful. But lunch club platform is really kind of like a business dating service, and I said that's led to some very good contacts and conversations for me as part of that.
So you mentioned WOW. So tell us about some about the WOW impact and the WOW stories. Someone experienced. This is the exciting moment.
Well, I think it was, there was a person who Adrian Miller, which I have to thank, and I was looking around for some things. And I'm a member of Adrian's group called AISNet that's also very helpful. And she said, look, you ought to contact this person named Juan Vides. And so you and I talked, and I became a member. I think that's probably a little over a year in July. And I will say since then, it's been tremendous in 3 or 4 different ways.
Adrian is the best, and I love Adrian Miller. She has the best networking group. I believe it. In the beginning, I wasn't a believer, and then I became a believer once I became a client. Because once you become a client, and then it
doors open, let's just say. And I was thankful for Adrian Miller, and I'm always be thankful. So
Yeah,
shout out to Adrian.
absolutely. And
So
then I would say, with WOW, it's not only what one can get out of it directly and referrals and introductions, and I will get to that. But the number one, it gave me great people, great professionals to whom I can introduce to my network, so I could be of added value to my existing network at the time, and bring forth people that could help them in their business. And then number two, it brought me people who I could collaborate, who could strengthen my offering, who had complementary and supplementary things along with what I do, so to make me have a more powerful impact directly on my clients. And then thirdly, I did get to what was probably the most profitable introduction in the past 3 years, came out of a WOW. That's now producing my leading stream of income for the business. May get surpassed here soon, but right now it's a leading one, and will certainly be a significant one for time to come, it looks like.
I am like, wow. I wasn't aware of that. And I'm like, actually, you wowed me.
And
Wow.
that's stuff they could do to get to WOW one. I'm glad I did.
Wow. I'm just impressed, and I'm very grateful, and thank you for being part of the networking group. You've been great. Now, tell us about the services that you offer, and tell us about what you do for your business now.
So what I do, there's a medical or a health offering called pulse electromagnetic field therapy, which I encourage everyone to look at from a number of angles. One, for their self-care and what they can do to add to that. Number two, there are a lot of players in that field, so I'd look at it for investment opportunities. And then number three, for me, what I do, I look to have it revolutionize healthcare. So to me, self-care is what one does for themselves. Healthcare is what's through providers. And that PEMF is a great technology that's still leading edge, but been around for a while. Was first approved by the FDA back in the late 70s and early 80s to speed the healing of bone fractures, and weren't responding to other types of treatment. But it's a great thing that's preventative, rehabilitative, performance oriented. And I believe it can, across a wide range of things, can produce better, faster outcomes for that providers can help people achieve. And for those providers, healthcare providers, it can also give them a great stream of revenue. So that's what I spend my time doing, is getting the adoption of that technology out there.
Wow. Well, that's been great. And Tim, thank you so much for sharing your story. And tell us, what's the best way the listeners can contact you?
Sorry, Juan, can you repeat that?
No, I said I said, what's the best way that the listeners can contact you?
Couple of ways. One, of course, on link, if one gets to LinkedIn and finds me, then I've got a phone number. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn, but it's got a phone number, email up there, and then my email is probably then other direct way to do that, and that's Tim Daniels HC. So Tim Daniels, H is in hotel, C is in Charlie, @gmail.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being my guest today. And that's all for the episode of the WOW podcast shows. And I hope you enjoy our special guest today and his story as much as we enjoyed it and shared it. Keep our channel more inspiring and stories, discussions to help you more business grow. So if you'd like to become a member of Winning on Wednesday, just please simply visit our website, www.winningonwednesday.com. Scroll down to the first time guest button, follow the directions, and I hope to see you in the next meeting. And that's all. Thank you.